What if I told you there's a place where ancient stone towers whisper secrets, the sea glows emerald, and people regularly celebrate their 100th birthdays? Welcome to Sardinia, Italy's wild island where time slows down and legends live on. This isn't just a Mediterranean getaway, it's a living, breathing blue zone. Let's start with where Sardinia actually is, because it's not just floating out there like some random beach getaway. Sardinia sits like a crown jewel in the western Mediterranean, about 350 kilometers southwest of Rome. But once you arrive, it feels like you've stepped into another dimension, somewhere older, wilder, and untouched by modern chaos. With nearly 1,850 kilometers of coastline, yeah, you'll find beaches here, sparkling ones. But that's just the beginning. See, Sardinia is a geological time capsule. Literally, this island didn't just pop into existence with sand and sun. It crashed into existence. Millions of years ago, two ancient tectonic microplates collided and fused, giving birth to Sardinia's rugged terrain. That's right. The ground beneath your feet is the result of an ancient continental collision that took place between 30 and 21 million years ago. And you can feel that history in the rocks, the cliffs, even the way the light hits the hills. Speaking of hills, Sardinia's full of them. In fact, about 2/3 of the island is made up of hills and mountains. It's not the soft, rolling kind either. We're talking dramatic, powerful landscapes made of granite and schist. Towering above it all is Mount La Marmara in the Gennargentu Range, standing 6,017 feet high. This isn't just scenery, it's soul-stirring. And that's the thing. When you're in Sardinia, you don't just see the land, you feel it. Every craggy peak, every jagged coastline tells a story. It's like the earth here has a memory. Let's talk beaches. Because Sardinia doesn't just have beaches. It has the kind that make you question if you accidentally stepped into a screensaver or a dream. You've heard of the Caribbean, right? Powdery white sands, crystal clear waters, those impossibly perfect horizons? Well, Sardinia is the Mediterranean's secret response to all of that, except it's real, and somehow even better. With over 1,200 miles of coastline, this island doesn't just flirt with paradise, it dives right into it head first. Now let me take you to a place called Cala Goloritzé. It's on the island's eastern coast. And no, you can't just park your car and stroll in. You either take a boat or hike a rugged 2-hour trail. Sounds intense? It is. But what waits at the end? Unreal. Think towering limestone cliffs, sugar-fine white sand, and water so blue it looks like someone turned up the saturation. Even locals can't get over it. One guide, Marco Rossi, said, "Every time I come here, I feel like I'm discovering it for the first time." That's how magical it is. Then there's the glitzy Costa Smeralda, or Emerald Coast. Yeah, that Costa Smeralda, the one that attracts celebrities, yachts, and billionaires like moths to a turquoise flame. Created by Prince Karim Aga Khan back in the 60s, it's 20 kilometers of glamour and granite, where the water gleams emerald green, and the sunsets feel like they're personally curated for Instagram. But my favorite? The hidden ones. Spiaggia di Tuereda in the south? Locals call it the Caribbean of Sardinia. It's got that warm, clear water that lets you see everything up to 50 meters deep. Perfect for snorkeling or just floating like you've got no worries in the world. And if you're into something more peaceful, more pristine, Cala Coticchio on Caprera Island only lets 60 people in per day. It's that protected, that precious. And then there's La Pelosa, up near Centino, where shallow lagoons wrap around a centuries-old watchtower and families splash under the Sardinian sun like it's their full-time job. Honestly, every beach here feels like it's showing off, and I'm not mad about it. Let me take you to a place where history hums in the stones beneath your feet, where every hill seems to be hiding something ancient, something unsolved. I'm talking about Sardinia's greatest mystery, the Nuraghi. Now, imagine this. You're walking through the countryside, golden light stretching across the fields, and suddenly, up ahead, a massive circular stone tower, just standing there like a sentinel from another time. Not one, not two. Over 7,000 of these towers are scattered across Sardinia, and they're not just rocks stacked in piles. These are engineering marvels, 3,000 years old, built by a people we still barely understand, the Nook civilization. No written records, zero, zilch. Everything we know about them comes from what they left behind. Their towers, their tools, their breathtaking bronze figurines. No Rosetta Stone, no diary. Just stone, bronze, and the raw genius of prehistoric minds. These towers, called nuraghi, weren't slapped together. We're talking dry stone construction, no mortar, some reaching up to 90 feet tall, built during the Bronze Age, right around the time the Mycenaeans were flourishing in Greece. So while everyone was watching Athens, these island engineers were crafting spiral staircases, inner chambers, and even multi-tower complexes, all without cranes, without blueprints, just intuition and skill passed down through generations. Some archaeologists say they were fortresses. Others think they were temples, observatories, or community hubs, maybe all of the above. And the most awe-inspiring of them all? Su Nuraxi di Barumini, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This thing isn't just a tower, it's a complex, a central tower surrounded by smaller ones, wrapped in thick defensive walls. It's like the Sardinian version of a medieval castle, built more than a millennium before castles even existed. And the feeling when you're standing there? It's like time folds in on itself. You're not just looking at ruins, you're staring into the face of a forgotten world, a society advanced enough to build monuments that still baffle modern engineers. Sardinia isn't just an island, it's a riddle, written in stone. Sardinia fed me in ways I never expected. I came here thinking it'd be pasta and pizza, the classic Italian cliché. But the moment I bit into a piece of pane carousel, that ancient paper-thin flatbread, I realized this place plays by its own rules. That bread, it crackled like dried leaves in autumn, made to last months in a shepherd's bag high in the mountains. It wasn't just food, it was a time capsule. Everything I tasted here felt old in the best way possible, like each dish was passing down a secret from centuries ago. Frigola looked like couscous, but tasted like toasted sunshine. Hand-rolled pearls of pasta that soaked up saffron broth like they were born to. Then came malarettas, Sardinian gnocchi, slightly ridged, kissed with sausage and wild fennel. But it was the calurgiones that caught me off guard. Delicate pouches stuffed with potato, mint, and pecorino, sealed with a pinch that looked like wheat stalks. Soft, fragrant, humble, and oddly emotional. The meats, bold and unapologetic. Porcedu, a spit-roasted suckling pig cooked until the skin turned glassy and crackled with every bite. Wild boar, buried underground and slow-cooked with myrtle leaves, came out so smoky and tender it felt like the woods themselves had seasoned it. And the cheese, oh, the cheese. Pecorino aged to perfection, sharp enough to make you blink. Then I heard about casu marzu. Yes, the infamous one with live cheese mites. I didn't try it, but I respected it. Because Sardinia doesn't do normal. It does history, it does heritage, and it serves it all on a plate like an invitation to be brave. Everywhere I turned, Sardinia surprised me with its wildness. I wasn't expecting it. One minute I was sipping coffee in a sleepy village. The next I was standing on a windswept plateau, watching a herd of wild horses tear across the landscape like they'd been running that same stretch for 1,000 years. The Giara di Gestri, rugged, wide, open. It didn't feel like Europe. It felt like something older, something untamed. And that was just the start. I wandered into Gennargentu National Park and felt like I'd stepped into a wildlife documentary. Sardinian deer darted through the trees. Golden eagles circled overhead. And then came the mouflon, those wild sheep with the curled horns. Found only here, Corsica and Cyprus. Seeing one in the wild, that felt like catching a whisper of a lost world. Even the coastline breathes differently. Off the shore near La Maddalena, dolphins play like they own the water. And in the underwater cathedral of Nerio Cave, the Mediterranean's largest marine cave, life thrives in the shadows. Conger eels, lobsters, moray, even the elusive monk seal if you're lucky. But it was the birds that really got me. Sardinia is a birder's paradise. I spotted Eleonora's falcon soaring across the cliffs, a species so smart it times its nesting with migrating birds for the perfect meal. And the flamingos, those pink wonders, flocking through the saltwater lagoons like some kind of dream. Locals call them Sagente Arubia, the pink people. And honestly, that's exactly what they looked like. This island doesn't just preserve nature, it partners with it, lets it breathe, roam, and surprise you at every bend in the road. Sardinia doesn't just dazzle with hidden beaches and ancient towers. It gives you unforgettable adventures, above and below the surface. If you're the type who craves a bit of daring with your discovery, this island delivers, and then some. Let's start on land. Sardinia is home to the legendary Selvaggio Blue, one of Europe's toughest treks, and one of its most unforgettable. Picture this. 7 days, 50 kilometers of rugged coastal terrain from Santa Maria Navarrete to Cala Goloritzé. You're carrying everything. Water, food, gear, camping under star-blasted skies, and navigating terrain that demands serious grit. Steep climbs, exposed ridges, via ferrata, all stitched with outrageously beautiful coastal wilderness. This is hiking and climbing on steroids. It's not a vacation, it's a feat. And every time I catch my breath, I remember that half the magic is in pushing just this far beyond what you thought possible. But if water makes your heart race, Sardinia has your name on it. The diving and snorkeling here are some of the best in Italy. No, scratch that. Some of the best in the Mediterranean. The La Maddalena archipelago has underwater niches bursting with life. Dolphins dancing near the surface, shy sea turtles navigating seagrass meadows, and schools of neon fish darting between granite boulders. I still remember the afternoon I drifted over a meadow of Posidonia off Capo Carbonara, the sunlight filtering down through 82-degree water like liquid gold. Then there's Costa Paradiso, hidden caves and dramatic cliffs where you swoop in by boat and suddenly you're in another world. Nearly 30 meters of underwater beauty without another soul in sight. And if caves are your kind of cathedral, Neptune's grotto is worship central. You can take a boat from Alghero, drift into a cliffside grotto, or test your spine on the goat steps, 654 carved into stone above the water. A bit like descending into a secret kingdom. Inside, you'll find Lake La Marmora, a saltwater lake wrapped in echoing stalactites and pillars. Undertakings like these feel sacred, silent cathedrals of stone and sea, and you're the only worshiper. But Sardinia isn't wild just in nature, it's wild in spirit. Here, traditions don't survive, they thrive, alive in the dusty squares and now ancient streets. Over 100 festivals fill the year, and these aren't staged tourist souvenirs. They're living, breathing celebrations, where Sardinians gather to honor everything from saints to ancient rites. In early May, Sant'Efisio storms Cagliari in a massive procession. 100,000 people, 5,000 in regional dress, on foot, horses, wagons, traveling miles to honor the saint who lifted a plague centuries ago. The air hums with faith, tradition, and tears of memory. In Mamoiara, the air turns electric come carnival. The Mamuthonis and Isohador, towering masked men draped in pelts and cowbells, drum and stomp around bonfires that predate Christianity, as if calling to the earth itself. Watching them, you feel time collapse. History isn't something you learn here, it's something you step into. And then there's Sa Sartilla in Oristano. Masked horsemen gallop at full speed into town, spear raised overhead, aiming for a hanging star. It's medieval spectacle, gladiatorial skill, and devotion rolled into one brilliant thundering moment. These rituals don't just entertain, they connect Sardinians to ancestors, to identity, to continuity. If I had to sum up Sardinia in one truth, it's this: time slows down here. Maybe that's why it's one of only 5 blue zones. Places where living past 100 isn't rare, it's expected. In villages like Sulo, nearly half the kids born in 1922 live to 90. The secret? It's not magic, it's lifestyle. Locally grown food, daily movement, deep family bonds, and lives rooted in rhythm, not rush. I met Antonangelo, a 91-year-old shepherd who said, "If I stop doing this, I'll die. It's my passion." And in Sardinia, that just makes sense. The island isn't just beautiful above ground, it's breathtaking below. Sardinia is riddled with grottos, some dating back millions of years. Neptune's grotto alone is a cathedral of stone, 4 kilometers carved out, 300 meters open to the public, but each one feels untouched. You step in, and the world behind you disappears. Stalactites drip like chandeliers. Stalagmites rise like frozen flames, and the echo of water lingers like a hymn to deep time. Walking through its corridors, you feel beholden to silence and awe. Which brings me to this: Sardinia isn't just a place you visit, it's a place that visits you. It doesn't invite you in to check boxes. It whispers, look around, see what's been here forever. The cliffs, the traditions, the longevity, they're not marketing slogans, they're stories, ancient whispers or modern testaments, woven together into something unexpected, something real. Every sunrise here is an echo of the past. Every meal tastes like centuries of care. Every dip in the sea feels like stepping into a living mosaic of life. Every mountain hike is a workout for the soul. Sardinia holds you, challenges you, changes you. if you let it. So if you're still just planning a vacation, consider this. Sardinia is a slow journey through time, a glimpse of wildness and wisdom, a lesson in living, not just traveling. Because on this island, life doesn't just linger, it lingers beautifully. So if your heart's racing a little, if you're picturing yourself wandering cliffside trails, diving into sapphire waters, or sipping red wine with a Sardinian shepherd who still works at 91, then maybe, just maybe, Sardinia is calling you too. Don't let this be another dream you scroll past. Let it be the one you follow. If this journey stirred something in you, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me your favorite part. Maybe it was the caves, the wild horses, the centenarians still dancing through life. I read every single one, and I can't wait to hear what you felt. And hey, if you've already been to Sardinia, share your story. Someone out there needs the nudge. Until next time, this isn't just travel. This is the art of living. See you in Sardinia.